Soul Garden.
Do you always date the boring person because it's safe? How come you always date the cheater? Are you always dating someone that tries to boss you around? Really? How come you're always dating your grandpa? Come on, you got father issues. Admit it. This is a video that answers all your questions. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. When it comes to the secrets of you and love and you and lust, we cover it all. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com. Hello, my fellow soul gardeners, and welcome now to Astro 102. We are working on the houses, the definition of the houses, those imaginary little pie shapes around a chart. And we've worked our way up now to the 5th house and the 11th house. We did 4th and 10th in our last episode. This time we're doing 5th and the 11th. Let's start with the 5th, shall we? The 5th house is one of my favorite houses, actually. It's the house naturally ruled by Leo. And what that means is it's the house really of the heart. This is the house of our heart chakra. And Leos, which are ruled by the sun, that's the heart of the solar system. Leos rule the heart. That's the heart or the center of our body. And really, in a spiritual perspective, it is the heart of our life. It's our inner child vibration, basically. And this inner child energy, this energy is really the juiciest energy, I think, in life. It is the play. It is the joy. It is the creativity. It's the reason why we are here. So basically, the 5th house tells me about a person's personal dreams. And it tells me about how connected they are to their inner child or not connected to their inner child. Now, if your sun is in the 5th house, your whole life revolves around your inner child, which is awesome. These are very playful, fun people. These people play until the day they die. They never stop playing. They never stop being creative. They never stop seeking romance. They really are truly a fun spirit to be around. And many people are triggered by those people. Why? Because their inner child is shut down. Their inner child is pissed and it wants to go out and play. It wants to go be creative. It wants romances, etc. So sun in the 5th house placement is really about how are you going to express the real you? What do you love? That's what the 5th house is asking. What do you love? Because what you love is who you are, okay? So if you love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, then you really are a peanut butter and jelly sandwich lover. If you love men and you're a man, you are gay. It's what you love. It's who you are, and that's okay. So I look at the 5th house to kind of understand how it is you are approaching love, where you're damaged, where you're not damaged. For instance, if you have Pluto in the 5th house, that means that you have been serious lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and somehow you got shut down with your inner love, okay? That could have been your parents, but I argue you were born into that parental situation because you left the last lifetime not experiencing inner joy or love. It means you have to follow your personal dreams, and although Pluto is usually a heavy topic, really it's a great idea. I mean, it's a great medicine, right? All you got to do is find love and keep it. So it's still a lot of spiritual work there, though, to get to that. If people have Saturn in the 5th, this sometimes means that seriousness gets in the way of them expressing love. They're afraid of opening up their heart chakra. They have control issues around their inner child. They also tend to have issues around having children. Met many women who are afraid of being infertile, Saturn in the 5th house. And I always said, you are fertile, everyone is fertile. You just have to face that, take the responsibility of opening up your heart and putting it out there. And that's what Saturn in the 5th house would be. Jupiter in the 5th house is awesome because that means the universe is going to pay you to just follow your personal dreams. Venus in the 5th house is awesome too. That means there's extreme genius creativity. So oftentimes when people have their sun in the 5th house, it means a couple of things. Either they're geniusly creative or they're super fun and or both. They also tend to be really obsessed with romance. Oh, they want romance. It's almost like they're more in love with love than they are with the actual person. They tend to go through a lot of people. So one example, I think, of sun in the 5th house, Leonardo da Vinci. Clearly, we don't know what his personality was like, if he was fun or not fun, but we do know creative genius, right? Even inventing the helicopter back in his day. More of a modern person, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton has her sun in the 5th house. And she is so much fun, right? All the time. I've never seen that woman not having fun. She's been after many a man before she finally settled down to a marriage. And she's really creative. She writes most of the songs popular. Actually, Whitney Houston songs. You'd be amazed at how creative she is. Even created her own theme park, Dollywood. So beautiful examples of sun in the 5th house. Now the 11th house, directly opposite of the 5th, is the house of your relationship compared to society. It's the natural house of Aquarius. how does the unique I fit into the context of the we? All right? So what is your relationship with society going to be like is really the question here. And this is often, sometimes this is publicly known, and sometimes this is publicly not known. You could be the head of a huge government organization, never be the president, never be in the press, but be running lots of things. So people with their sun in the 11th house have a public life. They're here for the public. Their life centers around the public. Their life centers around public opinion as well. I see a lot of politicians. I see a lot of rock stars. I see a lot of celebrities with their sun in the 11th. But the difference between sun in the first celebrity and sun in the 11th celebrity is sun in the first celebrity is just a star for the sake of being a star. Sun in the 11th celebrity would be someone who, as a star, they have some sort of a public influence. They do something with their stardom. Their stardom teaches something about life to the public, so to speak. So sun means your whole life really revolves around your relationship to the public. Pluto in the 11th, okay, the opposite means you've run out of time, you've been not participating, you've been not voting as a soul, you've got to get out there and you've got to have some politics going on. This also can be your circle of friends as well, the kind of friends you keep, because that's your little micro society. And this, of course, is your overall, the way you look to society. So people with Pluto in the 11th may have a bad reputation in society or come from a bad reputation, have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Or maybe they are people that have to learn how to polish their public persona. They're really bad at it, per se, and so something forces them into it. Jupiter in the 11th is great. That means if you run for politics, you're probably going to win. You've got fortune on your side. Venus is that you'd be super creative in politics or super creative in something with society. Mercury would be you'd be a great public speaker if you had Mercury in the 11th house. Now, a couple examples I thought were interesting with sun in the 11th. One sun in the 11th was Leo Bill Clinton. Okay, so very tried and true politician. Not just a politician, though, someone that both was loved and got into trouble with Monica Lewinsky, who is also a Leo, if you don't know. Kind of interesting, two Leos hooking up. So sun in the 11th can be a good reputation, it can be a bad reputation. Another example, O.J. Simpson, sun in the 11th house. Now, that's a perfect example. You'd think, well, he was an athlete. Wouldn't his sun be in the 6th house, where athletics is? We'll be talking about that. Could be, but O.J. in the end turned out more than just a football player. He's turned out to be an example of murder, our court system, getting away with it, then not getting away with it. He's in jail as we tape this, I think, still in Nevada, Las Vegas for that robbery attempt. So notoriety, okay? He was infamous. So you can go infamous or you can go famous in sun the 11th. Either way, the public is going to bounce their opinion off of who you are, and you're going to understand yourself through the eyes of the public. So that basically wraps up the 11th house versus the 5th house. And you can also apply nodes into this. If your north node is in the 5th, you're working toward your personal dreams. If your north node is, of course, in the 11th, you are working towards having more of a public persona. Each of those cases can be defined. Of course, you can always ask questions. All right, that wraps up this episode. I'll be back for the final houses episode, the 6th and the 12th next. Be sure to post your questions. Until next week, live, love, be. Why does every guy cheat on you? Trust me, I know. How come girls always call you their friend? I can tell you. We'll talk about your strengths and we'll talk about emotions. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Check out yours at secretsofbirthdays.com.